My name is Paula, and this is Exercise 101. I want to thank you for joining me for class today. I want to remind you that you should always consult with your physician prior to starting a new exercise regimen or changing your exercise regimen. Also, when exercising, please make sure that you have comfortable clothing and that you have good shoes. Please be sure to follow us on our UMBC Rec page, Instagram page, as well as our YouTube channel. So, we're going to start off with some of the things we learned the last time. We're going to start off with a little bit of warm-up, and then we're going to incorporate some things that we learned the last time, and then we're going to go right into what we're going to do today. So, for our warm-up, I want us to start at the end. For me, it's going to be at the end of my wall so that I can start with my walking. For you, feel free to walk in a loop in your area or in a circle. If you do walk in a circle, please make sure that you circle around a few times in one direction and then you change directions to avoid dizziness. So arms by your side, body in your erect and tall posture, and let's get ready to walk. And here we go. So heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe. Turn around, and this is just a nice little warm-up to get the blood flowing throughout our body. We always want to do some sort of warm-up prior to starting any exercise regimen because our body needs that. Never just want to jump into anything. Very good. Let's do 2 more laps, and then we're going to take it to a little bit of a jog. If you choose not to jog, feel free to stay with the walk. Here comes the jog. Go ahead and bend your arms at a 45-degree angle, and let's go. Back and forth. Or again, if you choose to stay in a circle or stay in place, then your jog is going to look like this. Again, if you choose to stay in place, this is more of what your jog looks like. If you choose to move in a circle or in a lap, then your jog is going to be back and forth. Okay, here we go. Keep going. All right, we're going to do 2 more laps. Starting now. This is half of one. This is the end of one. This is the half of 2. And now we're going to come to a little stop. Now we're going to get ready to do our full-on run. Feel free to run in place. I'm going to start in place, and then I'm going to move into a lap. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. So, 90-degree angle with my arms. Elbows coming back. As I run, my feet are more off the ground, and I'm more on my toes. Feel free to stay with the walk or the jog. Again, we're getting the blood pumping, the blood flowing. And I'm going to stay in place for about another 10 seconds. And then I'm going to turn my run into a lap run. In 3, 2, 1. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, exhale. You may breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, or feel free, some people feel better, breathing in through their mouth and out through their mouth. Whatever makes you most comfortable. Keep going. All right, we're going to count down to our 2 laps. This is the beginning of the first one. That's the end of our first lap. Half of our second. End of our second lap. Now we're going to take a breather. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Very good. All right, now I'm going to come to the center so we can start with our marches. And I'm going to start in place. But at some point in time, I'm going to make my march mobile, which we didn't do the last time, so we're going to try it today. So, low impact march. Okay, little lift of the feet. Hands are loose. Okay, no fist ball up. And we have a little bend in our arms. We can also have our arms down by our sides in our walking motion, okay? And it's just a little lift, not much. Good. March, march. We're going to do this for another 15 seconds, and then we're going to take our march higher, okay? Back to that 90-degree angle in our knee for our march in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now lift it up and up and up and up. Feel free to bend your arms to the elbows. Lift. Good. And I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see me. Okay, watch my knees come up, 90-degree angle, or in line with my thigh. Again, you do not have to come up to such a high march. Feel free to stay with the low impact march. Okay? But if you choose to, bring it up, bring it up. Good. Now we're going to switch it back to a low impact march. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Low impact march. Low impact march. This is also a great time to catch your breath. Not really much work going on. Good. 10 more seconds here. Then we're going to lift the knees back up to a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to take our march mobile. Make it mobile. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it up. Lift it up. Lift it up. Lift it up. Good. Now remember, if you want to play music in the background for yourself that gets you motivated, that gets you pumped, you can do so. You do that. You play the music that pumps you up, that keeps you motivated. If you choose to do your workout without music, that is also all right. Good. Keep it going. Keep it going. 10 more seconds. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now I'm going to come out to the end of my wall, to my start position, and I'm going to prepare myself to march forward and backward, okay? Now, when we march forward and backward, I'm actually going to do just that. I'm going to march forward and march backwards. Not turn around and march backwards, okay? And the reason I'm doing that today is I want us to practice our balance. I want us to get into the habit of moving backwards as well as forward. We always move forward, but how often do we really move backward? So we need to engage those muscles that we would use to move backward, and we're going to do that today. So get ready to go. We're going to use our low impact march first, march it forward, and then we're going to use our low impact march to march it backward. Okay? All right, make sure your area is clear, and we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's march it forward, and take it back. Make sure nothing to clip you up. Now go forward and make it back. Great balance. March it forward. It also helps you to be aware of what's around you. Good. Forward, 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 and back. It's kind of like we're dancing. Good. Now we're going to do one more lap. Low impact march forward. Last time coming back for now. Now let's march in place. Because now we're going to lift our knees up higher to that 90-degree angle. We're going to pretend we're in a marching band. And we're going to march forward and we're going to march it back. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. So lift, 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 lift. Then we're going to take it back. Engaging more of those knees. Getting that flexion in the knees, the bend in the knees, waking them up. And forward. And back. Good. 2 more laps. Forward. Pull your belly button in. Don't let it just hang there. One more time. Last lap forward. And back. And now in place. Now I just want to review with you and remind you that you can move forward and backward in place. You don't have to have a long wall or much space to do the same thing that I'm doing. Everything that I'm doing, you can do in your space. So if you were marching in place, marching in your space, moving forward and moving backward, you just wouldn't have as many steps. So walk forward for 2, walk back for 2. Walk forward for 2, walk back for 2. Okay? We just want to have the same form and do the same thing to engage the same muscles. Good. 3, 2, and 1, and stop. Very nice. All right. Now, I hope you've been practicing your wall sit or your squat on the wall and your squat off of the wall. So, before we do that, we are going to do a little bit of a stretch. So we did a bit of an active warm-up. We walked, we jogged, we did a little run, we did our marches, low impact and high impact, or higher. And now our heart rate is elevated a little bit. We're breathing a little bit harder, and that's great. Now our body is warm. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stretch these warm muscles. So get into the habit of first getting the muscles warm, then stretching the muscles. Don't just stretch cold muscles, okay? It just doesn't work well. So be sure that when you're getting ready to do your activity, do your workout, warm the muscles, then stretch them, as opposed to stretching them and then heating them up. Okay? All right, so the first stretch we're going to do is we're just going to bring our arms out to the sides with our palms facing forward and us standing in good posture. And all we're going to do is we're going to push through our fingertips while pulling our belly button in towards our spine. And we're going to inhale and exhale. Might not look like much, but we are engaging our arm muscles, our bicep muscles, our forearm muscles. We are also engaging our fingertips, and sometimes we neglect the fact or overlook the fact that our fingertips have muscles in them as well. Our fingers have muscles in them as well, and we want them to be a part of our workout. So stretch through your fingertips. That stretch will engage the muscles in your forearm as well as in your arms, in your biceps, and you might even feel a little bit of a stretch right back here in your sides and towards your back. Okay? And inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now, bring your arms up above your head, palms forward, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold ourselves in half, right? So when I say fold yourselves in half, I really do mean you're going to take your pelvis, push it towards the back, your glutes will stick out with your arms up, of course, and when you do so, you're folding yourself in half at the waist, and you just want to come down as far as you feel comfortable. If you're able to touch your toes, great. If you're able to touch the floor, great. If you're able to touch the front of your shins, that's good too. Knees works. And even if you're starting at your thighs, that's okay. The goal here is to feel a nice stretch in the back of the legs. We are stretching the same muscles that we just used to walk, jog, run, march, okay? So, again, inhale, come up, and we're going to start that stretch over. My arms are up, my palms are facing like this, with my arms extended, my belly button is pulled in. I'm squeezing my glutes as well, telling them I'm getting ready to do a move that's going to need their help. I'm going to inhale, and now I'm going to exhale and slowly come down to a place where I am in mild discomfort. Mild discomfort. I feel a nice little stretch in the back of my legs. I have dropped my head. My chin is hovering over my chest. I am looking between my legs, and I am just simply enjoying the fact that my muscles are not only being stretched, but they're also being relaxed in this position, and I am allowing the blood to flow through me. Good. And now let's inhale and roll up. Take your time coming up so you don't get dizzy, and roll your shoulders back once you come up to an upright position. Now let's try that one last time. One last time. So arms come up. Inhale. Now we exhale. Now we've cut ourselves in half, or we're bending at the waist. Grabbing to our toes if we choose to. Placing our palms on the floor. We're really flexible in the back of the legs. Or just coming to a touch of the shin or the knees, or just having the hands on the thighs in this position. Now we're going to get ready to roll up, and we're going to inhale to do so, coming up ever so slowly, not rushing it. We do not want to get dizzy. Good. And bring your shoulders down and back. Great. All right. So now we're going to go into our wall sit. Wall sit. Now with our wall sit, get to your wall, back your heels up against your wall, arms on the outside, and we're going to first do the higher sit, or the higher wall squat. So that's where we walked out for a 4 count. So you ready? Walking out for 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in that high squat position, and we're just going to hold it for 10 seconds, starting now. Belly button is in, back pushed against the wall. Hands can just rest on your thighs. You have 3, 2, 1. Now let's walk our feet in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're sliding up the wall. Now we're going to walk out for a 6 count, get a little bit lower. And we're also going to hold that for 10 seconds. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's walk it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, make sure you're not sliding on the floor like myself. Get a good grip, and just make sure I count 6 steps, but it's just to help you gauge how far to walk out. But the goal is to get your knee to a 90-degree angle. And if you feel yourself sliding, as I am doing at the moment, because your shoes are slipping on your solid wood floor, then be sure to just adjust yourself and slide your feet back in so that you don't lose your balance. 3, 2, 1. Now let's slide on up and walk our feet in. Very good. Now, if that is too much for your knees, or it's truly uncomfortable to you, stay with the higher squat. But the goal is to get the movement into your knees, slide down so we can engage those muscles that we might have forgotten for a long time, and make our wall squat a little bit better each time. Now we're going to do that again, starting with the higher squat, then moving to the lower squat, and we're going to hold it more or for a longer period of time. So the first time is going to be for 20 seconds, higher squat, then we're going to come up, then we're going to do it again, lower squat, 20 seconds, and then we're going to come up and do a breather. Take a breather, okay? All right, feet against the wall, and let's walk it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Higher squat, back against the wall. Time starts now. You're thinking of your happy place, thinking of your favorite thing, your favorite food, your favorite people, favorite place to be, to get your mind off of what may hurt or what may feel uncomfortable. And yes, it is going to hurt, but it is a good kind of hurt. For 3 more seconds, 2 and 1, walk it back. Why do I say it's a good kind of hurt? Because it's a hurting that will help you in the end. It's a hurting that will build muscle. It is a hurting that will trim you a little bit. It is a hurting that is helping you to be a better you. All right, let's walk it out for those 6 steps, or as far as you need to go to get your knee to a 90-degree angle. Again, if it's of any discomfort, stay with that higher squat. All right, ready? Let's walk it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just only go as far as you need to get low. And remember, if your feet start sliding, adjust yourself. Time has started. We have 17 seconds to go. You can do this. And we're doing it together. You are not by yourself. Let's keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Keep that back against the wall. Keep the head against the wall. You got 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's walk it in. Walk those feet back. Slide up against that wall. Put your feet back against the wall. Very nice job. Now we're going to come off the wall and we're going to do our freestanding squat with our arms up. So remember, if you needed a chair for this the last time, grab that chair with the high back so that you can sit on the very edge of that chair and practice your freestanding squat. Here we go. So here we go, standing in place. Arms are going to come up. We are going to inhale. And we are going to exhale and slowly come down. Ready? Here we go. Very good. Arms stay up. And we're just going to stand right back up. Here we go. Let's stand up. Very nice job. Again, we're going to try that again. Arms up by the ears. We're going to inhale. Looking forward. And make sure you set yourself up for success. So your feet should be shoulder width apart. So inhale and exhale. Looking forward. Glutes are down. Good. And only come down as far as you feel comfortable. You can even come down lower if you feel really comfortable. And inhale and come on up. Very good. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale. And let's exhale, come down. Come down only as far as you feel comfortable. But make sure you don't have a dip in your back and your arms don't fall forward. But keep that upright position. Squeeze your glutes. Inhale. And come on up. Very nice job. Put your arms down. All right, so we've reviewed everything we did the last time. We reviewed our walking, jogging, running, low impact march, high impact march, our wall squat, high wall squat, low wall squat, as well as our freestanding squat. So now what we're going to do is we're going to transition into something new. And it's a little bit, we touched on it a little bit the last time, but we're going to talk about lunges. So lunges is an exercise, a great exercise to get that flexion in your knees, both knees, and it allows you to work on your balance as well, and it allows you to engage your glutes, your hips, as well as your core, as does many of the exercises we're going to do. So for the lunge position, we're going to start off with a high lunge. It is something we touched on when I was talking about starting off with a jog. Sometimes you start off in the split stance. Well, this is an example of a lunge. When we start off with our lunge and our split stance, one foot is going to be forward. It doesn't matter what foot you start with. You're going to start with making sure that you have not your feet one directly behind the other, as if you're trying to walk a line, but one slightly out from the other. And you're going to come down in a bent knee position as far as you feel comfortable. So you're going to bend the knee, and that can be your lunge. Okay? This is a high lunge, and that's great. And you're just going to hold it, and then you're going to come on up. And now what we want to do is whatever we do with one leg, or one side, we want to do the same thing with the other side so we can be absolutely balanced. So we're going to take the leg that's in the back, for me it's my left leg, and we're going to kick it forward, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull our belly button in, and we're simply just going to drop down right where we are. So dropping down means bending our knees as far as we feel comfortable, stopping there, and then coming on up. Okay, now what I was going to do is I was going to step back, because ideally that's what we want to do. We want to start with our feet underneath our shoulders and then step out into a lunge. So watch me first and then you can practice with me. I'm going to use my right leg first. I'm standing in my good posture position, my spine nice and tall. Now I'm going to take one leg and I'm going to step it forward. And I'm going to drop my knees or bend my knees. Good. Now I'm going to push off and come back. Good. Now I'm going to do my other leg. Step forward, drop it, and push off and come back. Very good. Those are lunges. Now, if you're willing and you're ready, let's try a lower lunge, okay? A lower lunge. Make sure if you don't feel comfortable, don't do the lower lunge. Stay right where you are in that high lunge. So let's start with our first leg. I'm starting with my right leg. Here we go. Stepping forward. Step forward, okay? Both feet are on the ground. Drop to your level of comfort with the bend in your knee. You see that the more that I drop, the more I bend my knee, the more my back leg comes up. And let's get ready to come on up. So pull your belly button in, squeeze your glutes, push off that front leg. Ready? Let's go. Push. Good. All right, now let's do the other leg. Ready? Here we go. Inhale. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale. Exhale, big step. Okay, drop those knees or bend the knees, dropping yourself down to a place of comfort. And let's get ready to push up. Inhale and push back. Very good. All right, let's do that one more time. That whole series, that whole set. One leg at a time, alternating. Here we go. Inhale, big step, drop it down. And let's get ready to push off and push. Good. Other leg, big step. Bend the knees, dropping yourself down. And ready, let's push. Good. Now we're going to see if we're going to do 4 in a row. 4 in a row. That means 2 on the right, 2 on the left. But it's going to be in the same order we just did it. So we're going to step out right, step back right. Step forward left, step back left. Then we're going to do it again. Step forward right, step back right, step forward left, step back left. Okay? All right, here we go. Start in your good position. Inhale. And let's exhale and step out. And let's drop down. Bending at the knees. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Push off. Good. Let's do it again. Left leg now. Inhale. Exhale, step out. Drop it down. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, push back. Good. Let's do it again. First leg, right leg. Inhale. Exhale, step out. Drop it down. Exhale when you drop it down. Inhale. Push it back. Exhale. Good. Last leg, last time. Inhale. Exhale, step out. Drop it down. Good. Inhale, push it back. Good. All right, let's try to put our either wall squat together with our lunge, okay? Now, remember, if you're most comfortable with the wall squat, stick with that. Stay with that. If you're most comfortable with the freestanding squat, stay with that. Stick with that, okay? And then we're all going to come and do the lunges together, all right? So we're going to do, I'm going to demonstrate with a higher wall sit. And then for the lower one, I'm going to come off of the wall and do a freestanding squat. And then we're going to go into lunges. I'll cue you for your lunges. And then we're going to do a set of 4 lunges. Right, left, okay? All right, here we go. So I'm going to start with you on the wall if you choose to do the wall. If you choose not to do your squat on the wall, do it freestanding and start off high, all right? So, ready? Walking it out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit here. And we've got 15 seconds. Good. Keep it up. Breathe through it. I know it might hurt a little bit, but you're doing great. Keep it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it back and slide up the wall. Good. Now for the lower squat. If you're doing it on the wall, stay there. I'm going to come off the wall and do my squat off of the wall. Okay? Arms up if you're off the wall. Inhale and make sure your feet are right underneath the shoulders. And exhale, lower down. As far as you want to go and hold it. We're going to hold it. Hold it, hold it. And we've got a 10-second hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come up. Good job. All right, now we're going to the lunges. Right, left for a series of 4. Ready? Here we go. Arms at your sides. And we're going to take the right leg first. Inhale. Exhale, step out. Inhale. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, step back. Other leg, left leg. Inhale. Exhale, step out. Inhale. Exhale, drop it down. Only to your level of comfort in your knees. Good. Inhale. Exhale, step back. One more set. Right, left. Right leg first. Inhale. Exhale, step out. Inhale. Exhale, drop it down. Good. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back. Other leg. Inhale. Exhale, step out. Inhale. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back. Very nice. Good job. All right. Now, for the next thing we're going to do, if you have a mat, please grab one. If not, don't worry about it. You don't need it at this moment, but for future reference, you might want to have some type of yoga mat or even a beach towel, or if you have carpet works just great. Either or, you want to have something on your flooring to do the next thing we're going to do, which are planks, okay? So, planks, great exercise for us to do, full body exercise, as are all the exercises we have reviewed thus far. And these are exercises that will help work you out from the top, the crown of your head, to the sole of your feet. So they can be done anytime, almost anywhere. You probably do them without even knowing, such as lunges. When you walk up steps one at a time, that is a lunge. It's a low impact lunge. When you take them 2 at a time or 3 at a time, that's a higher impact lunge, I'll say, because you're doing more of a bend in your knee. But for planks, you need a mat or some type of surface that's going to feel comfortable to your hands. I'm going to grab mine. Hopefully you can grab yours, and if you can't, you'll grab a towel. Okay? All right. So, planks can be done more than one way. Okay? Now, many of you may be familiar with a plank where you're on your hands, your toes are tucked, and you are holding that plank for a specific period of time. I'm going to show you a few ways that you can do a plank, especially if you've never done a plank before. But before I do that, I'm going to show you a full plank. So my hands are underneath my shoulders. My shoulder, my elbow, my wrist are in alignment. Whenever you're down on the ground and your hands are on the ground, you want to make sure that that is the form you have for your arms. Shoulder, elbow, wrist. Your hand should not be here with your shoulder back here and your elbow somewhere in between, okay? Instead, we want them to be right underneath us for support. Also, palms are down. Palm is down. Sometimes we crouch or crouch, or we bend our fingers like we have claws when we're down in this position for some reason. Avoid doing that. Place your hands nice and flat on the mat. All right, the other thing we want to make sure is we have our knees at least hip distance apart. Hip distance apart. And no wider than the mat. So that when we get ready to come out into our full plank, especially if we're going to do a regress plank, that we are in enough of a wide stance, again, for support. Now, typically, we start on our belly for our plank, and I'm going to start there as well. So showing you the full plank, I'm going to start on my belly. Now, I know that when I come up, my hands are going to be underneath my shoulders. Why? Because I just gauged that. I just came up on all fours, and I placed my hands on the mat, and I watched where my hands were, and then I lowered my body down, okay? You can do the same thing too to start and gauge that. Once you become more and more familiar with the plank, you will not have to do that. You can simply come down to your belly to prepare for your plank, and then you'll come right up with your hands underneath your shoulders. All right, tuck your toes, or I'm tucking my toes, okay? And when I get ready to come up into my plank, I am going to inhale, and I'm going to exhale and push out. Good. Now, a couple things I want you to notice. My hands are underneath my shoulders. My toes are tucked. My ankles are at a 90-degree angle. My belly button is pulled tight towards my spine, and I am as long as I can possibly be. I would typically be looking straight down at my mat in between my hands and not to the side. Now, one thing to remember when you come up in a full plank, okay, sometimes there are those who are practicing a plank, but they often have a dip as if they're doing a yoga move. Avoid that at all costs. It places a strain on your lower back. So make sure you're in a good, nice, long, parallel position with your mat. The other thing we sometimes see is a tuck, okay? So this is more like an inchworm or a triangle or, again, another yoga move, okay? So avoid that when you're doing your plank, okay? Now I'm going to lower down, and that was a full plank. Now you might be saying, you're ready to do your plank. Great. So let's try it together. Let's try a couple of options. The first option is to start in the way that I started. Down on my belly, hands on the outside of my chest, elbows pull back. Try that. Down on your belly, hands on the outside of your chest, elbows pulled back. Toes tucked, knees down. Okay? Looking down at your mat. Now what I want you to do is, I want you to inhale, and when you come up with your exhale, I want you to just lift your chest and then keep your toes tucked on the mat and keep your knees on the mat, okay? So you're going to fully extend your arms without lifting your knees and without lifting your toes off the mat. Just your chest and your belly. Here we go. So inhale and exhale. Okay? Again, all I did was I started with my hands on the outside of my chest. I fully extended my arms. I lifted my chest off of the mat. I kept my toes tucked. And instead of lifting my knees as I would in a full plank, I kept them down on the mat. Now, if you're doing this with me, inhale, exhale, lower down. Good. If you like that form, keep it. If you don't, here's another option. So another option is to come up in a full plank and then drop to your knees, okay? So what you'll do is you start off just the same way as we did before, but instead you're going to come up into a full plank. Just for a second, it won't be for long. So you're going to inhale, exhale, and then drop your knees, okay? And that is another way to come to the plank with your knees on the mat. Okay? Now let me do that one more time. Lower down. Okay? The first option I showed you, we did inhale, exhale, extended our arms fully, kept our toes tucked, extended our arms, and lower down. The second option I showed you, we came up in a full plank, inhale, exhale, full plank, and then we quickly dropped our knees. If you choose this option, where you come up in a full plank and then you quickly drop your knees, please avoid shifting your weight back, okay? Notice that my wrists are no longer underneath my elbows, and my elbows are no longer underneath my shoulders, so my form is now off. And this is no longer a plank. This is actually all fours, okay? So again, when you come up and you're in that plank just for the second and you drop your knees, do not shift your weight back. Keep your weight right where it is, chest between the hands, shoulder, elbow, wrist in alignment, okay? All right, let's lower down. Good. Now I'm going to show you one more option to get into a plank, but this time from a standing position. So if you will, push yourself back, walk your hands back to your knees, tuck your toes, and then shift your weight back to roll up to a standing position. I want to show you that as well. If that is not how you come up off of the floor, come up the best way you know how. And let's come to standing together. Okay, so another way to do a plank from a standing position is, remember that warm-up exercise we did where I said fold yourself in half? Well, that comes into play right now. So what you will do is you can fold yourself in half, run your hands down in front just like we did in our warm-up, okay? And walk your hands out, okay? Walk your hands out until you feel comfortable. Walk your hands out until you feel comfortable. So if this is my comfort zone, this is where I'm going to stop. I'm just going to make sure that wherever I stop, my shoulder, elbow, and wrist are in alignment. Now, this is not our plank. What is going to make us our plank is when we drop our knees. Okay? That is another way to get to your plank, a regressed plank. If you wanted to walk out into a full plank, I'm just going to lift my knees and walk myself back to restart in my standing position. Then I would start off the same way, fold myself in half, run my hands down in front of my legs the same way I did our warm-up stretch, walk my hands out, but this time I'm going to walk it out as far as I can go until I become nice and level and parallel with the mat. And now I'm in my plank. The only thing I need to adjust or be sure that I'm doing is that I have not shifted myself forward, therefore dropping my pelvis, and I'm not shifting myself back, hiking my high knee in the air, but I've kept myself parallel with the mat and my ankles are at a 90-degree angle. All right, now if you want to walk it back, you can, but if you want to just lower here, you can also do that. Good. All right, so gently come on up. And let's practice a couple of planks, okay? Pick whatever option I reviewed with you just a minute ago. I will not be doing all of the options at once. I'm going to pick an option to do. You can do it along with me, but pick whatever option worked well for you. The option I'm going to start with is the standing option, okay? So I'm going to stand up. I'm going to hinge at my waist, therefore folding myself in half. I'm going to walk out to my place of comfort, and then I'm going to drop my knees, and I'm going to hold my plank there for 10 seconds before I walk my hands back and come back to a standing position. All right, let's do it together. Ready? Inhale, fold myself in half, walk it out to my place of comfort. Now, hands are on, I'm going to check my hands to make sure my wrist, elbow, and shoulder in alignment. Then I'm going to drop my knees, and I'm going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7. Belly button pulled in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to lift my knees, walk myself back, walk it back, and I'm going to roll it up. Very nice. Now this time I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to come out to a full plank. I'm going to walk out to a full plank, okay? So I did a regressed plank from a standing position. Now I'm going to do a full plank from the standing position. All right? Here we go. I am going to fold myself in half, walking it out as far as I can go until my body is parallel with the mat, making sure my feet are at least hip distance apart and no wider than my mat. My arms, shoulder, elbow, wrist. My ankles, 90 degrees. My belly button pulled in. My pelvis is not drooping. For 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to pull my belly button in. Hinge at my hips. Walk my hands back. And then roll up. Very nice. Now I'm going to do another option, but this time I'm going to start on the mat. Do it with me, okay? All right, elbows tucked, hands flat on the mat, and I'm going to push up, okay, with a full plank, and then I'm going to drop my knees to regress plank. Here we go. So inhale, exhale, full plank. Now I'm going to drop my knees and hold it here for 10 seconds. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now I'm going to lower down. Very nice. And remember, from this laying position, you can also come up into your full plank. Now, if ever when you're doing a plank, you start to feel a little bit of tinging or pinching in the shoulders, and it's too much for your wrist, know that you can come down to an elbow plank. So you can still come to those same positions, but instead of being on your hands, you can be on your elbows. And remember, wrist still needs to be aligned with the elbow, and elbow still needs to be underneath the shoulder. So your plank will look more like this. If you're in a low plank, pinky finger is down, and our chest would not start on the mat, but it would start elevated. And if I'm doing a full plank, I would simply just lift my pelvis off the mat. Good. If I'm doing my regress plank, from here, I just drop my knees. Okay, you see that? Very nice. If I want to do it from standing, you're going to come on up. I would simply stand up, walk myself out to my hands, come down to my elbows. Okay? So, today we reviewed our walking, our jogging, running, marching, low impact, high impact, our wall squat, freestanding squat. Our wall squat was high and low, and our freestanding squat was to our comfort. We then talked about lunges, stepping out, dropping down, stepping back, doing the same thing on both sides for equality, stepping back. And then we talked about the many ways to get to a plank, because we're going to get to know planks a little bit better and enjoy them thoroughly. Good job. So now what I want to do is I want us to cool down. So just like we always warm up, we always want to cool down. We always want to let our body know we are done working and we've done a good job and we're not going to do anything else for now. So first thing I want you to do is I want you to stand in your good posture. Bring your arms out to the side, the same way we did with our warm-up. But this time I want you to give me some small circles forward. Give me 3 more. 2 and 1, and stop in the center. Now I want you to give me 3 circles to the back. And just breathe. 1 more. Good. Now I want you to bring your arms up. And I want you to fold forward just like we did in the beginning for our warm-up. Grab any place that you feel most comfortable grabbing. Look between your knees. Inhale and roll up. Let's do that again. Roll your shoulders back. Swing both arms up. Fold forward. And let's roll up. And now let's take 3 breaths. So feet together, inhale, and exhale, round your arms down. 2 more, inhale, bring your arms up, and round your arms down. And if you choose not to bend your knees for the breathing, you don't have to. You can simply stay here, inhale, and exhale. Good job. This is Paula. This was Exercise 101, and thank you again for joining me. See you soon.